everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Health IT Playground. We are back, and I am super excited about this episode because it's going to be focused on something a little bit different. It's going to be more topic focus, right, versus career focus. So I have here with me Alvin Tanikala, and he's going to be talking to us today about the importance of reading health IT information. You guys know about getting those emails from, CMS and seeing all those different health IT news stuff. And you're like, oh God, all these words, why? Well, he's going to talk to us about why it is important to stay up to date with this information. So before I keep on going on here, I'm going to go ahead and have him give us a full introduction about himself. So thank you, Alvin, once again for your time and for joining this channel.
Oh, no problem. I'm very, very happy to be in your program. I've been watching and following things that you're doing online, and it's one of the things that is missing in our industry, a credible and comprehensive source of information about health information. And I started my health information career as a second career. So back from my home country in the Philippines, I was in communications. I came to the United States in 2007 with the family because of my wife is in healthcare. She's a registered nurse, and during those days, they were having issues with fielding nurses in the United States. So we were blessed to be able to come to the United States through that route. And my foray into health information was when I started doing, I started my first job was with home care, a home health organization, and I was dealing with medical records. And then there was this idea saying that the other half of healthcare is not being seen. What you see would be doctors, you see nurses, and those professionals, but the back end you don't see them but that much. Right. So that started my career there, and then I started from scanning medical records until where I am right now. I supervise a team here in Bakersfield, California, for the Health Information Management Department. So the information that is part of what we do in helping out our professionals, our doctors, our nurses, has to be very, very precise, has to be very, very accurate, because the information that we deal with is a life and death type of information. Yeah. If we don't get the information correctly, if we mismatch the information from one patient to the other, we might be endangering people. So the professionals that rely on that accuracy rely on us so that we can be as accurate as possible with whatever information they need so that they can make those life-saving, life-altering decisions in their practice. So that probably gives you a summary of what I wanted to do when I entered healthcare. Sorry about that. So the information that we have has to be very, very accurate because it talks about people.
Right. And I know that you are a huge advocate of, research and about, the news and what's going on. Like for you guys that are watching, if you are on LinkedIn, please be sure to find him and follow him because he shares a lot of great insight on LinkedIn. Just a shameless plug here. He didn't ask me to do it, but that's how I found him. He shares a lot of great information. So definitely be sure to find him on there if you're looking for credible, reliable information, because he is a, a health IT advocate just like me. So definitely follow him. Just wanted to put that out there. So you spoke about how you got into health IT. Now, my question more so is, how do you recommend people staying up to date about health IT news?
Well, Google is both a blessing and a curse. So when you Google health information, it gives you tons and tons of information that you can use. But sometimes we do not vet them, or we do not provide, we don't investigate, because sometimes we just trust so openly that we get misinformation disguised as credible information.
Right.
And sometimes they put in like their sources as credible ones, but if you would dig deep enough, it would be misinformation. And I've found that so prevalent during the pandemic. It's still happening right now, when the first source of information should be what we find online. So we go to our phone, we go to our computers, and then we just type in things that are bothering us, for example. And then a lot of information would be coming in. And if we don't know the sources, then we might be endangering ourselves. Or if we work with a team, we might be endangering the process. Just this lunchtime, I was talking to one of our nurses here at the hospital, and she was telling me that she has a patient who has a sty, something with the eye, and then he was asking, according to the internet, I just rub that with gold and it goes away. And that information he also got from a friend whom he trusted. And said, just rub gold in it, and then because there might be antimicrobial properties of gold, and that will go away. And those kinds of information that you get, although it's funny, but somehow the information that we get, if it's not vetted, can be harmful.
I agree.
For during the COVID times, the early onset of that, okay, you drink isopropyl alcohol, you drink you drink alcohol, it will kill all of the COVID virus, those things, or hydrochloric acid, that will kill the virus. And now we find out that no, these are the wrong things to do, but they find it from people who they trusted.
Right.
And we are part of that community of experts that they should be able to trust for the information that they get, and we don't get that too often. We're so crowded with a lot of misinformation.
So what are some credible sources, if for someone that's watching here that does want to be sure that they are drinking from a good foundation?
According to some researchers, the most credible that you can find, which are vetted articles, which are peer reviewed, which means experts are verifying all of that information, would be coming from the Centers for Disease and CDC. Centers for Disease. Another one would be the Food and Drug Administration. World Health Organization would be very credible for those kinds of information. And then if you are part of an organization, sometimes they subscribe to journals. So like American Journal of Medicine, or Keck, or Beck, I think, would be a good source. So those, I go for articles that are vetted by multiple experts. So it's not enough for me that if I find an article online and it reads and sounds credible, I would take a look at who are they quoting. If it comes from a physician, it comes from a researcher, I would Google that name, and then I would find out if they are actually the experts that they are being quoted for. I say that Dr. So-and-so from the Centers for Disease said this. So I Googled that. Usually I can find an article or a journal that would verify information for me. If I get them, my initial sources would be from something that's vetted. I don't have any problems with credibility for those sources.
Now,
So,
what are your views on like Chat GPT, right?
yeah,
Everyone's using that for everything, for work, for just everything. So what are your views on using Chat GPT for researching health IT information?
I use Chat GPT as my assistant.
Okay.
Which means that, for example, I just type in probably a health information topic, and then I would say cite sources, and it will give me a few credible ones, but most of them would be they call it in Chat GPT. It's like they're phantoms.
Yeah.
They're fake ones, right? So what I do is the same way that I vet other articles. I go to the name that they quote. I go to the journals, and then I search if they actually had those keywords in their journals. And if I can find a direct quote from them, then I would say what Chat GPT gave me would be credible. But I'm very, very cautious about using Chat GPT as my citation source.
Gotcha.
It can give me a list of probable topics, and then I just drill down on if I can find the actual authors, actual researchers who wrote those pieces.
Gotcha. And I know someone's probably watching and saying, well, I'm not doing research. I'm not a clinician. I'm dealing with other issues, that has nothing to do with clinical stuff. So for those people that are watching, why should they be invested into health IT news and articles?
Well, health IT is a very ubiquitous part of our life. It's present all of the time. You just don't know it, but you're dealing with health IT every day. So if you have a headache, the information that you're getting is health IT. If you want to check your child's medications or temperature, all those are related to health IT. If you don't have time or you're not inclined to get incredible health IT sources, then look for sources that do that for you. They curate that for you. So there are experts out there who would just simplify things for you so that you don't have to go through all of that research and digging up. So the experts just like you, or probably from me, I write those articles so that people would have a Reader's Digest version of it. They just get probably important highlights from it. If they really want to dig deeper, then they can go through the sources that I provide. Usually in my articles, I give them links. Those links would give them the sources, because I don't want them to trust a singular source.
Right.
You have to get them from multiple sources. Although we're doing our due diligence, I always advise those who interact with me, you verify your sources as well. Okay, I might be the initial source, but when you dig deeper, it would provide you with more insights, and it's better for your career as well.
Got you. And I'm just wondering, because I tell my students when they want to do research and they want to learn more to subscribe to a lot of the agencies, because a lot of these agencies also send out emails that can go out. Sometimes they're daily. I kind of got a little annoyed by it, to be honest. I'm okay, this is too much. Let's make this a weekly thing. But I would receive emails from different agencies, and they would give me updates on what's going on with mandates and all these managerial things that you should know as a health IT professional. So do you also incorporate that into your platform?
I do. My email is inundated with journals, and it's a daily thing, so I have to go through all of them as well. And I think it's a burden that I chose because if you don't go through that information overload and filter and distill them out, you will also be doing yourself a service.
I agree.
Because if I get all of those information and I overload myself and I don't pick out what's really nutritious,
Yeah.
say that, then I would be what they call information obesity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you gain on a lot of information that are not useful.
I agree. So if I were someone watching this and I'm maybe new in health IT, in your opinion, how many email trails or subscriptions should one person have? Because I remember having 10 and I was going insane, right? So how many would you recommend? Like, what's the recommended number?
I would start off depending on how well you digest and how fast you read. I'd start off with 3 credible sources, and then you build up to where you are. We're at 10. But start off with 3. My top 3 would be CDC,
Okay.
FDA, and then World Health Organization, WHO.
Okay.
So if I want an international flavor to what I'm researching, I go to WHO, and then try to narrow it down. If it comes to something country specific, then I can narrow it down with CDC or with FDA. But if you come from another country, then your country's health organization might be able to provide you with that information. Since we're in the United States, I primarily focus on those 2 areas: CDC, FDA, and World Health Organization. I just piece them all together and then try to find connections. That's one beauty of being a researcher is you get to forge different pathways.
Yeah.
So if you want to do international, you have a source. If you want to drill down to your state, there are information that you can get from these sources that can drill down to specific localities that you want. So if you want for your particular county, you want to take a look at nutrition, take a look at smoking information, taking a look at social determinants of health. What would be those kinds of things that would be affecting your community. It's something. It's exciting if you get into the groove of it. Sometimes it takes me hours just looking at one link and then going to a study, and then there's a link. I click on that, and then I piece together, there's this medical story, or there's this research that gives you a story, and then provides you with a lot of insights.
What's your topic? Like, what's the topic that just makes you so excited when you see an article? Like, what's your thing?
Right now, I think it's AI.
Okay.
I'm trying to take a look at artificial intelligence, authentic intelligence, and how it's going to impact us. I've been reading for the past few weeks that AI is helping diagnosis, helping with radiology, helping. A few hours ago, I just read from Kaiser saying that AI helped them save 500 lives because I'm going to write something about that. If you want to take a look at my newsletter, I'll take a look at that. But that's one thing. It also is concerning for me because there is a lot of talk about AI is going to take over health IT. Our industry, for example, we're talking about we used to talk about computer-aided design, computer-aided coding, where you just use the computer and then its AI capabilities to do diagnosis coding, and they're more accurate than humans.
Yeah.
They are also talking about clinical decision. And if you're using AI, you train AI smart enough, then it's going to take away a profession. So that would be something that I was looking into. But it still balances itself out, because some experts say you still need authentic intelligence to verify what artificial intelligence is doing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I currently work for an AI company that actually does that. They actually are helping to automate cases for, you know, Epic users. And what I've realized in my time there so far is that yes, this technology is there. Yes, it's making things easier, but at the same time, the medical coder is still needed, because some things may need to be automated because there's just so much involved that it does need to have that human touch. So I see it as a assistant AI, just in my opinion. I see it as an assistant, not as a overtaker of the career. So yes, it will change the dynamic of things, but I also feel like that's going to bring brand new issues or brand new things that humans can then work and resolve. So there's pros and cons, just my personal opinion.
And there's I wrote about it in my newsletter about upskilling. We have to upskill ourselves with this new thing that's coming in, where I don't know anything substantial about AI for now. But if I want to be part of that growth, then I have to find ways where I can upskill myself. So what are my upskilling skills now? Number one, research is a very good upskill. If you can do your research and find out things that are happening along that pathway, then by the time there's this new thing that's coming up, you already know what skill sets you need to put in.
Exactly.
Research is important. So the articles that I'm writing and reading is also one way for me to help myself. Because if there are information that I can just distill for myself and then share it, and some other people might find it useful, then that's something that I can do to help out the community. So our health IT community is pretty generous with all of the information that they have.
Very.
And just like this one, where we want to share information. We want to distill it in a way that people who are entering our community, our profession, or our industry would not have a hard time finding somebody to connect with.
Right.
Because a few years ago, I did not have this type of community. When I was starting my health IT career, it was very hard for me to find somebody who would teach me how to speak health IT language.
Right.
And right now it's being changed because the technology that we have.
I agree. That's good. So, I mean, you have such a big passion for research, and that's why I wanted to talk to you specifically for this. Do you see yourself maybe becoming a researcher, or, you know, getting a PhD or anything like that? Is that something that has, you know, maybe trickled your mind at some point?
I'm still going to do research, but to tie that up with an academic title, like a PhD, that all depends. I'm thinking about, you know, because sometimes the credibility of research is associated with the title that you hold. So if you have a PhD or a doctorate in something, it lends credence to what you're saying.
Right.
But that shouldn't stop anybody from doing research. You don't need a fancy title.
Yeah.
As long as you know what you want out of the activity that you're doing research so that you can get insights, you can get your data, knowledge, and then wisdom coming from it. So if that's going to be useful for you, go ahead and do your research. Fancy titles aside.
Okay.
Because if I can get all of that information to my community, and my community needs that type of information, then I have contributed a lot to building up that data set that they have.
Okay, and
yes, I'm still gonna do research. I might not have that title,
yeah,
but still my
it's cool.
purpose is to do research.
Got you. And I was gonna say, for those that are hopefully hearing this conversation and saying, hey, I don't read any articles right now, and I probably should start doing that. But whenever I read them, it's just the words confuse me. And it's just because I remember reading my first article, I felt like I was reading like something that was written in like 1850. It just felt so, like God. So what's your advice for those people to get through their first couple of encounters? Because it is a process.
When I started reading research papers, it was like a foreign language to me.
Yes, very.
And then when you start to look at math and statistics, that's an alien language altogether. But I think when you want to do research, it has to be something that you have to force yourself to understand reading the research. You don't have to understand every word of it, because the more research that you read, the more you would understand why they make use of those particular language.
Right.
Another thing that I found very useful is, just like in learning a foreign language, is you don't understand all of the nuances of it for the first few research articles that you have. But once you get into it, you would develop this new language skill set. So it's a new language that you're trying to develop. So for those who would want to start doing research, or would want to find information that would be beneficial for them and for their career, research is very good. Research paper, peer-reviewed paper, they're very nice. It can build up your vocabulary as well.
Yes.
Sure. And those are that vocabulary is slowly going away. We want to simplify things, but there are certain terms that are so technical that it should remain in a formal setting. But if we simplify them, we should also understand where it comes from. Because right now, our job as health information professionals is to simplify health information for the greater majority. Then there are a few who would need the more technical terms, and then we should be ready for both. Okay,
I definitely agree. And just to add to that, for those that are watching that are studying for their RHIA exam, just know that most, if not all of the questions are stemming from some type of article that was written by someone and it was incorporated into the curriculum. So even passing a lot of these certifications, it's reading articles and understanding them. So reading and being up to date on stuff is critical as a health IT professional. And I hope that we're pushing that message, because that is the truth.
When you read, when you do your practice test, the information, you are correct that those are researched, peer-reviewed information that they just they took from real life situation. They just codified it, put it in a journal or somewhere, and then it's now part of a testing process. And it's important that the testing process, the credibility of the testing process be maintained, because you just don't, that any information that you put in is training yourself. The students that you have, is the information that they are being trained on has to be credible, and the credibility has to come from a well-researched source.
All right. And So as far as next steps, I know that you do have, your platform within, or you promote it rather on LinkedIn for those that want to join and receive newsletters and information. So I did want to give you a chance to, of course, let my audience know about how they can connect with you to be a part of that, because he has a lot of great information to share for those that are interested. So I'll let you kind of talk about that more.
Okay. So my newsletter is called HINT, HINT, or Health Information Notes and Trends. So you can find that in LinkedIn. I also have a Substack publication that talks about HINT as well. So the reason why I called it HINT is when you go to the origin of the word HINT is basically gathering, or getting ideas and then revealing something bigger.
Right.
So research is just like that you get a hint of it. If you dig deep enough, then you will get more out of it. So my newsletter is about getting news, notes, trends on health information, and then trying to find out if there are things that I can share that can be beneficial for the community. So you can find me on LinkedIn. Just type in my name, Alvin Tanicala. I also have what do you call it? I'm a registered hitman. That's what I call myself in LinkedIn. I'm registered because I'm a health information technologist.
Okay.
So I'm not the one that
Okay.
eliminates.
Like, wait a minute, we need to end this right now. Okay.
So it's a fun way of me saying that I'm a registered hitman. So yeah, health information technology.
Okay.
That is where I am, and I am registered because of my credentials with AHIMA.
Okay.
So when you go to my LinkedIn, you would see a cartoon picture of me with a heart finger, and then it says registered hitman. I do not eliminate people, but I do eliminate misinformation. That's part of the purpose that I'm doing, is make sure that information can be both beneficial as well as something that would enlighten.
All right. And I love to ask this question to everyone. Where do you see yourself or your career in, I don't know, 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you see yourself?
I want to be in the middle of a thriving HIT community. I want to be in the middle of a community that helps each other out. It just so happens that the chosen village that I want to be at would be with health information professionals. Okay. So in the next 5 years, I want to be one of the mentors who would be welcoming those who are interested in joining our community. Right. So that they would have somebody to talk to, engage, and be excited about this career option that not a lot of people are very aware of. I agree. And I think we need to change that. We are STEM professionals as well. Mm-hmm. Science, technology, engineering, and math. We talk science, we talk medicine, we talk health. We can interact with the professionals in our frontliners, our doctors, our providers, and then we have our own language. When you talk about health information, we have our own little village, but it's a welcoming village. Yes. That's one thing that my analogy would be, if it's a village and we have different tribes around, we welcome those who would want to be part of our community, and we would want to branch out as well.
All right. Any final words for anyone watching that is like, I've watched this, okay, but I still kind of don't want to read. I'm already tired from work. Like, what's your final pitch about the importance of reading health IT news and articles?
I think it's not only probably what can they get out of the articles or health information. It's probably another avenue for us to explore other platforms. So right now, instead of them reading what is good about health information, they're watching it. So we have this platform that you're using. Others might have listening. So a podcast might be another way for them to read with their ears. Right now, they're reading with their eyes and ears. So what I would suggest would be, as we mature with the platforms that we have, just like what you have right now, reading will now be multimedia.
Yeah, I love that.
So it could be, right now we're providing them with audio and visual cues, and if they really want to dig down, really become serious about it, then they go to the written form. They can go to the journals and read about it. But we open up the doors by exciting them with video, with podcasts. And then if they really want to be more engaged, then research journals, those stacks of papers or ebooks.
Yeah.
Then that would be the entry. I'd say that we're the gatekeepers right now with different mediums that we have. So you have video, you have audio, then you have the written word. Then it could be anything. But we're at the forefront right now. So I do appreciate what you're doing with providing all of these platforms. They can watch us right now. They can hear us right now. And if you want to you have more information, we can provide you with the links that you can read later on.
Right. Exactly. And what I will do, just to, hold on to what he said, I am gonna put in the description all of the links that we spoke about today. So the WHO's, the FDA's, the CDC's, if you want to check out his, his HINT newsletter and join the bunch, right? I will have that on there as well. And so we'll kind of start that. And for those watching, if you are interested in maybe going over some articles on this channel, let me know in the chat as well. I have no issue making that even like a series, right? Where we investigate an article and talk about why this is important to us as health IT. Like that to me will be cool. But you guys have to want to see it, right? So let me know in the chat as well, if that's something that you would want to do. And yeah, we will definitely take it from there and grow this thing, because it's all about information, not just managing it, but also learning about the new information that is coming out every single day.
Yes.
Right. So yes, I do want to once again thank you for your time. And if you guys enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, please follow him. If you have any questions for Alvin, please be sure to, can they email you, or how can they reach out to you?
They can reach out. The fastest way probably would be through LinkedIn. They can message me through that, and then they can subscribe to the newsletter there. But when you request for connection on LinkedIn, I will accept it. So we'll just grow the community, just like what Juliette is saying. This is something that is growing.
Yeah.
We want to infect, in a way, the most positive way, more health information professionals who have not only the passion but the purpose of providing the best information out there.
Perfect. He ended it perfect. Like, I have not, mic drop. Okay. I have nothing else to say after that. Okay. So I once again want to thank him for your time. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed this, please, like I said, like it, let us know in the comment section, and we'll think of other things to do with just, news articles. And I will see you guys on the next video, where, me, it can be anything, but I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.